Hello, and welcome back to the Stories of Northern Life podcast, brought to you by the Sault Ste. Marie Museum. I'm your host, Nicole, and today I bring you an episode on Billy Orazietti. So, if you remember from a couple of weeks ago when I interviewed Chris Nielsen of Team Nielsen Sled Dog Team, I asked him if he knew about Billy Orazietti. And he told me that so many people around the Sioux remember him and they always share his stories. And one person in particular who I was able to reach out to was Pat from Foremost Pets. So I was able to talk to him about his business, but also his friendship with Billy. And we are going to listen to that interview with Pat next week. But today I am going to tell you about Billy Orazietti. So he was born William Henry Orazietti along with his twin brother Robert, or Bobby, on October 13th, 1943 in the Sioux to Attilio and Anna Orazietti. He grew up at 172 Spring Street, which is a beautiful brick home behind Central United Church. He had another older brother named Joe and three sisters, Adelia, Gloria, and Antoinette. The family owned and operated Orazietti Furniture, a small furniture and appliance store. The kids would often work at the family store, including Billy himself. And Billy even later became the Maytag repairman for the Sioux. Billy played for the Junior A Sioux Greyhounds, along with his twin brother Bobby, older brother Joe, and their cousin Archie. So it was a real family affair back then. Also, growing up, they always had dogs. And so this is really when Billy built a special bond with them. And then when he was around 15, Billy's father, Attilio, died suddenly on February 14th, 1959. And this was hard on the young teenager. Apparently, at the age of 16, he decided to move out to his family camp at Point of Pines with his dogs for some solitude. Billy was a national caliber bodybuilder in the early 1960s. He was Mr. Canada at both the junior and senior levels. And even with all of that strength, when trying to walk and exercise his many dogs, he found them difficult to control. So he decided to start attaching them to bike handlebars and then attaching the leashes to toboggans, before he eventually decided to purchase a dog sled and harness. So he began to train with his dogs and eventually entered them into some dog sled races around 1975. And so he was working towards his goal of entering them into the Iditarod. And now the Iditarod is an annual long-distance sled dog race in Alaska held in early March. They go from Anchorage to Nome, Alaska, traveling around 1,165 miles. And the teams are comprised of a musher. So that is the person who is driving the sled, and about 12 to 15 dogs. And so you can switch out the dogs so that they all stay healthy and energized along the course, but you have to have 5 dogs on the lead or harness when you cross the finish line. They cover the distance in about 8 to 15 days or more, depending on the weather. The Iditarod began in 1973 to test the best teams, and it has now evolved into today's highly competitive race. So Billy was able to make it to the 1992 Iditarod, but unfortunately he did get lost and have to turn back to Anchorage. So he wasn't able to finish the race, but he promised himself that he would return someday and be able to finish the race, but unfortunately he never had the chance. In 1994, he took part in the Upper Peninsula 200 Slug Dog Championship. And so the ice was weakened by unseasonably warm temperatures. And on February 19th, 1994, it is said that he became disoriented on the ice over Little Bay de Noc and strayed off course. They fell through the ice, and he was able to save 2 of his 9 dogs, but himself and the other 7 were lost. It was one of the worst dog sled racing accidents in the UP's 200-year history. Then in September 1997, a statue and plaque were erected on the waterfront near what is now the Delta Hotel to remember Billy and the 2 dogs that he was able to save. So the statue depicts Billy and those 2 dogs that he was able to save. And so the statue is there to remember Billy, his kindness, and the loss that the Sioux felt at his passing, and his heroic actions in saving 2 of his dogs. And you can hear more about sort of the impact he had on the Sioux when we go into the interview with Pat. But I will read to you what the plaque says. So the memorial reads, Billy O was a well-known citizen, musher, and legend in this area. Over the years, he entered many dog sled races, including the 1992 Alaskan Iditarod, not to win, but to compete for himself and his dogs. Born in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, October 13th, 1943, Bill met his untimely death February 19th, 1994, doing what he loved best. Bill went through the ice in Little Bay de Noc in Escanaba, Michigan, attempting to save his 9 beloved dogs. He managed to save 2 before he succumbed to the icy waters of Lake Michigan. And so if you are traveling downtown by the Delta Hotel or the Station Mall along the waterfront, take the time to go and find Billy's statue. Maybe it's one that you have seen and have wondered about. So there is a story surrounding that statue that we have. And if you have any stories of Billy, please share them with us. You can contact us, write your stories in. We can set up interviews. We always want to make sure that we can save these important stories of our citizens. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. And as always, thanks for listening. Bye.
Did you know you can get unlimited admission to the Sault Ste. Marie Museum for a whole year for just $15? Yep, that's right. And there's more perks to that too. Go to Sault Museum, that's SAULT museum.ca, under Visit and learn more about our membership options. And if you're a business, corporate or nonprofit, we have plans for you too. Reach out to us by emailing info@saultmuseum.ca with any inquiries.